We're not going to be great at it in the beginning, so we just need to do it. Hello, welcome. I'm Kyla,
I'm David.
and this is our podcast where we talk about life, basically, until we figure out what we want it to be. All right. Our topic for today is goals, because I feel like having a podcast for you has been a goal for a long time.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would say so. I've had these mics for quite a while.
How long
I
have you
like
had them?
goals. At
How long have you had them?
least a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think we just got to jump in head first. Do it.
All right, we're doing it. Welcome to our podcast. Like you said, her name's Kyla. My name's David. Today we're going to talk to you about goals.
And why we love them. I
Why
love goals.
Why do you love goals?
Oh, I feel like I've always been a very goal-oriented person, even when I was in like grade school. Like I loved accomplishing things and the feeling you get when you like seeing your success, I guess you could say, in something, a goal you set, like an accomplishment. It just feels good. I love the feeling. I'm a very feeling person, so I love the feeling I get when I accomplish a goal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Why do you love goals?
I mean, if we're going back to like childhood and trying to figure out, why we are the way we are, it's definitely because of World of Warcraft. I don't know if you guys ever play that video game, but there's like endless quests and you get rewards for filling it. It just fills your brain of like she said, just doing things and accomplish things, and then you get like shiny rewards. So I think it just carry over. I think video games are stupid, but it's definitely a good lesson I learned, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta appreciate the things that were stupid though, because it made you kind of into who you are.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So why would you say goals are important to you now?
Because without them, what's the point of life? I think writing down goals is like giving yourself purpose. And I think a lot of people spend their entire lives trying to figure out what's the purpose of life, but literally the purpose of life is creating life and doing life and enjoying life. And if you don't write that down and make it a goal, then it's not really a purpose. It's just something you think about and not actually take action to accomplish. So yeah, I just like having a purpose.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think it's like something tangible you can hold on to too. Like if you don't have something you're looking forward to in the future, where are you gonna you're gonna probably be living in your past, and that is a huge symptom of depression. So I feel like goals are also like something that are very healthy for our mental health. Very healthy. Because we're fighting for something. Pushing towards something rather than walking backwards or staying stagnant. Stagnancy for me is like really difficult to be.
Why?
I don't know. It's something I've always been very like I'm a quick learner. I really like to push myself in my mindset, and so I feel like it's something that's always been part of me, but I think stagnancy to me equivalates to just like not living, like you said. Like if I'm stagnant, where am I going? I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm not doing anything with purpose or that's going to give me fulfillment. So if I have goals set, then I'm going to be like moving towards something which just gives me more life, gives me more excitement and joy.
Very true.
Yeah. So what are your goals for 2023? Because it's February.
2023. Well,
So,
I don't know if you guys have ever read The Power of One More. Got the book right here. But Ed Milet, he talks about instead of breaking up, like most people make year goals, and that's how I've always been. So one of my years this year that he talks about in his chapters break them up into quarterlies. So like the first 4 months make goals, next 4 months, etc., until you get to the whole of them. So that's one of my goals, to break up all my goals into quarterly. But I got a lot, obviously, stay on my fitness stuff. I'm doing a sales and marketing boot camp, so I got to make it till April and keep doing that, even though it's been tough. But that's been one of my goals. Not drinking any alcohol, so staying sober the entire year is one of my goals. I don't know. I got endless goals. Working on my discipline. Every year, not every year. I can't say every year, but last year. I don't know what book it was, but they talked about having a word for the year. So last year my word was work, and then this year my word is discipline. I just want to get more and more disciplined with my time and my goals, and just constantly, being a lot more disciplined. So that's been a big, huge focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I heard you just say was it's tough, right? Like the one with
Boot camp.
your boot camps. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say affiliate marketing because that's what the basically about. But like you said, it's tough. But I feel like that's part of it. Like part of goals are they're not easy, not like easily accomplished. And if you have easily accomplished goals, you're not setting your goals properly.
I agree, but I also got to counter. You got to throw some in there that make you feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you get to have like kind of like a
Balance.
yeah, like you got to
Yeah.
have ones that are like you can accomplish kind of quickly and like that make you feel good that you know you can accomplish. Or else if you set like way too far out goals, then you're just going to be obviously your negative self-talk is going to kick in and you're going to be tearing yourself down constantly. Yeah. For sure.
I would say you should hit about 80% of your goals.
Yeah.
Would be if you're making goals, you should try to hit 80% of them realistically, and then you should have those other ones that you're really hard. And obviously you should be trying to hit 100% of them, but if you hit 100% of your goals in a year, that means you didn't do a good enough job setting goals. But if you hit 100% of them, same thing. You probably didn't do a good enough job setting those goals either because you made them too easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your goals?
My goals for this year, I as well am drinking no alcohol. That's something that I wanted to do and I set, but that one's an easy goal for me. So that's one of my easy goals. One of my hard goals is buying no clothing. Personally, it's something that I like have always done. I just go buy clothes. It's something I enjoy. It's something that I very fond of. So I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do it. Especially for a girl, it's really difficult. But I'm excited about it, and I've made it a month in, and I haven't bought clothes. So that's good. Another one.
She only bought clothes for me, guys.
I did buy clothes for him when I went to Hawaii. That did happen. Which they were for you.
Yeah. So it doesn't count.
Yeah. And then one of my other goals is to graduate massage school. I'm in school to be a massage therapist, and I will be graduating in September. My goal is to graduate with a 4.0, and thus far I'm doing it.
Nice.
Yeah. But I also like what you said. So your word for the year is discipline.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like it's John C. Maxwell that wrote the book about that.
Probably. I always forget authors. I just pick up the book, read it, and remember things and move on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's the one he wrote about that book, but I don't remember what book it's from. But I've been doing that too for the last 2 years. And this year my word is expand. And I feel like I'm doing that a lot right now. So I've been in school for a month, and my mind has been so expanded.
All the anatomy.
With all the anatomy that
driving me nuts with it, let me tell you guys. Did you know something about the ligaments connected to the tubulars inside of your vascular membrane affects the way something?
Yeah, I kind of just go off sometimes, and then I know he's not listening, but I keep talking about it.
Yeah. Let me be frank out there. I'll tell her. I'll be like, yeah, you can keep going, just knowing I'm not like really retaining any of this because it hurts my brain.
And I say, that's okay. I'm not going to stop talking about it, though, because it actually really excites me.
Yeah, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I just, same thing like her. I'm learning like 3 different things at the same time, or probably 4. So I get it.
They don't always go through my mind. I'm always like, what are you talking about? But I still listen.
Yeah.
But
she's better about that than me.
My teacher was like, go home, and the best way to learn something is to teach it. And I was like, ooh, I can't just go home and start talking about anatomy because my last anatomy class was extensive. We learned a lot in that 4-hour period, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to go home and start talking to him about this, or
I wouldn't listen.
I'm going to be kicked out. Just kidding.
I wouldn't listen.
Yeah, no.
All right, back on track.
Yeah, we did go on a little
tangent.
Skirt right there. Skirt.
Goals.
You're
talking about your goals.
I have a question though.
Anatomy.
No anatomy. Nope.
Oh.
Ex-nay the anatomy.
Oh.
But goals.
Goals.
So, do you think there's a con to having goals?
No.
No.
Do you think there's a con to having goals?
I don't think there's a con to having goals. I think there can be a wrong way of setting goals. Like you said, like if you set only way too difficult of goals, it's not going to be good for you.
I agree.
So I feel like you get to learn how to set goals for yourself and the best way to do it in order to really accomplish your goals in a way that is beneficial.
Hmm. So how would you go about it if you just suck?
If you're just terrible at
You're
setting
just
goals,
terrible.
like if you just look at it and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna make like $10,000 today, and that's your goal. Like that's a cool goal.
Yeah. What if your
But
goal
like,
is just to get through the day? I think a lot of people have that goal.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good goal. Like if you're starting with that and your goal is to get through the day and get out of bed, because I feel like, I mean, I know people have been there where it's just like, you know what, I just want to get out of bed on time and like be excited about life. I feel like that can be a stepping stone. I feel like you got to make goals in a way where it's like, okay, today I'm going to get out of bed and I'm going to get dressed. And tomorrow, or like do that for an entire week if you're really having a hard time in life. And then next week, my goal is to wake up and then go drink a glass of water and smile or do something like small and minuscule and then build from there. But like once they can like build upon each other, they're like an onion,
Like Shrek?
Yeah, like an onion. Goals are like an onion. You can build upon them. So like you can start setting more and more challenging or more like heavy goals the more you get accustomed to setting goals. It's just honestly like setting that first goal, like getting accustomed with like, okay, I'm going to set a goal and make it small enough to the point where like you can achieve it and then build upon that.
Like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
What are some obstacles you've faced in some goals?
Some obstacles?
Yeah.
Oh man, everybody knows these obstacles. I think they always say don't compare yourself to others, so you discredit your goals. You swipe through TikTok or one of those apps, and you see people, like 21-year-olds that with millions of dollars, or you see, just things that you're like, man, my only goal. Then you like discredit your own goals because you're like, all I did today was wake up and smile and drink some water and make my bed, and then you're like, oh, so then I think then you don't cognitively like think about yours isn't like a good way. It's more like you're just doing some stuff that seems meaningless, I guess, or not as valuable. So I think that's a huge obstacle. Is like just recognizing that you are doing. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's very common nowadays. Is people aren't even trying because they're so stuck in the comparison of what everybody else has.
Sure.
Like they don't even put an effort into their own because they think, oh, I can't even get there because I'm 27 and I'm not 21 and rich,
Yeah.
Like I think comparison can be a good thing, but I also think it can be a very detrimental thing. Like I think if you come at it from a mindset, like you're the one that taught me about this actually, is I used to think like comparison, like it's the creator of evil. It's the worst thing ever. And then one day we were talking about it and you said like, why not compare yourself to people that are like, rather than comparing yourself to them, like find people that you really value and you can look up to and use them as a role model. And so I've started to do that instead, especially with my social medias. And I think it's something that has helped me a lot. Like, I don't compare myself to them, but I look at them and I'm like, wow, I think they're amazing. And I come at it from that mindset. And it's helped me not discredit my own goals.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So thank you.
You have any tools that you use for goals?
Goose?
My goose?
Use for
Gotta hit
goals?
your goose?
I always like to write my goals down. I feel like we are so blessed to have all this technology in our lives and we get to utilize it. And so I just love in my notes, I like type up my goals. And in Apple Notes, you can put like the little checks on it when you're all completed. And so that's what I like to do. I like to write them down and revisit them. I have in the past like put goals in my calendar.
That's good.
Yeah. Like actually physically go in and put them there. How about you?
Well, this year, probably the app Todoist has been like my favorite thing ever. In the past, I think it started with just simple writing them down. Or even when I had a job before, it was literally just chicken scratch on like a piece of paper with things that I needed to do that day. I think that's how it kind of first started. I was like, okay, I need to get these things done no matter what, and I wrote them down. And you get in the habit of just crossing them off, and it gets addicting. And then you get your list bigger and bigger and bigger. But now I have like an app, and it's Wonderful. So Todoist is probably my favorite. One thing I would say about my goals, because we get derailed on like, alignment goals, or, everybody's different. Everybody wants to do different things or likes different things. If we talk about fitness, for instance, there's a million forms. There's bodybuilding, there's CrossFit, there's,
Hit,
you could play tennis, there's
gymnastics.
yoga, there's a million of things. So if you tell somebody like, hey, you need to go lift weights, it's not, obviously I like lifting weights, it's one of my favorite things, but the important part of the goal is like you need physical activity. Everybody can agree with that. So making sure the goals kind of align with like who you are at the same time, does it fit your personality and stuff like that. So I think like knowing a lot about who you are, so personality tests, for instance, that's how I like reread mine every now and then, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't actually align with who I am, and that's why I know it's even like harder. So I think it's important to make goals that are aligned with who you are.
Yeah, I love that. Because I have set goals in the past where it's like they were like more so for other people, Like
Yeah.
sometimes we live to appease other people. Like if you're more of a people pleaser and you haven't learned how to grow out of that, then you might be setting goals for other people. Make them proud and not necessarily yourself. I personally have experienced that. Like I've set goals like, hey, I'm going to achieve this, but it didn't bring me that same satisfaction. Whereas like if I set the goal for myself instead. So I think that's really important. So personality tests are huge. So what are some personality tests that you
Oh, so many.
would suggest?
I mean, it depends who you are. It's like suggesting a book. People always ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, what book do you suggest?" It literally depends like where you are in this situation and what you need to learn the most. Because like a lot of times, if you ask people your favorite self, I'm derailing this so bad, but if you ask people their favorite self-help book, it's always going to be the first one they read, because it was the one that made the most amount of like difference in their life, because that's when you first started getting into that growth mindset and you're like, whoa, I can learn stuff from a book. So one person's self-help book to another one, it's not always going to correlate. So same thing with like personality tests. It's like my favorite one recently has been Wealth Dynamics, because it talks about entrepreneurship, talks about building like a team, like what you need. And to me, it was a huge eye opener, because I've always been a person of that, like I can do everything myself. Like why would any it like I could just do it myself. So like, just do it myself. But that personality test resonated so much with me, because it opened my eyes to like, wow, not everybody has what I have to offer, but they need what I have. So it was very valuable to me. But if you're not an entrepreneur, like you're not trying to be an entrepreneurial, like it all depends on that. But there's so many out there. So
Yeah.
I would just look them up and do all the free ones, and I don't know. Yeah, I think they're all fascinating and interesting.
I agree. I love personality tests. I feel like there are like some base ones that like you're first jumping in. Like Briggs is always one that so many people love. But
Sure.
I feel like we should just link some on your favorite ones. Think
Go
so?
for it. Yeah, go ahead. Just link
Let's
them
do
all in the
it.
comment section.
That way,
You got affiliate links or
if
what?
you're like me and you are not like him, where he's like King Googler, just goes and Googles everything and just finds everything.
You can use Chat GPT now too.
He's so great at it. I'm not like that. Like I like ask him about things and he's like, why don't you just Google it? And I'm like, I don't even think about doing that. So for the people like me, we can like add some links in there for some of those personality tests. Why not?
Sure. And I think it's important to keep reading your personality tests. Same thing like books. Like if you know it but you don't do it, you don't really know. So every now and then go back and read your personality test, or take it again.
It's changed.
Yeah, I remember when I first started doing personality tests. It was because of my job or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if it's true with every personality test, but my assumption was this is who you are. That's just what you are at your core, no matter what, and this is how you're going to be the rest of your life. It's just like your blueprint." And I've gone back and done some of my personality tests again, and they're completely different. So make sure you retake them too every couple of years.
Yeah,
See where you're at.
it's true.
Yep.
Mine. I haven't redone mine, but mine have probably changed too.
Yeah, I just redid mine. What is that one called? The one with like all the little dudes?
That's the Isn't
Is
that
that Myers-Briggs? I don't know.
Yeah. That's the one you just redid.
Yeah, that's the one I just read.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good starting point.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it's very like, it's not
It's
so much
free.
like. What am I trying to say here?
I don't know. It gives you like family and like
Yeah,
relationships.
like it's very
and,
balanced.
like it gives you a good idea what careers you could do.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
some of mine, I was like,
Yeah.
most of them, I was like, no.
Yeah. I feel
But
like
a lot of it's in there.
It also like they can help you set your goals, like you said. Like they can bring you back to who you are and make sure that you're setting your goals properly. Like,
True.
I think that's a great tool to have. What else? What other tools?
Well, I got more on that then. I got what she thinks about tools. You can go ahead and think about tools. It's like same thing as people are going to put you in a box at the same time. They're gonna if they're not the same kind of personality you are, the same type, they're gonna be like, why are you focusing on that? Why are you doing that? You should do it like this. And you're gonna think like, hey, this person's ahead of me, X, Y, and Z. You know, like I probably should listen to what he's saying, but doesn't mean to discredit them. But at the same time, they could be operating differently than how you operate, and trying to put you in a box, their box. So
yeah,
it's good to know about yourself because then you'd be like, actually, I learned like this. Just like all like the learning types, you know, personality types.
Yeah.
And you can tell people like, oh, I actually prefer learning like this, and and you can learn quicker, and yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like even I've like tried to accomplish goals like how you do. Like he's like very quick at accomplishing goals. When we first started dating, it was like I tried to like match him, and I'm not like that. Like I'm just not. And so it's like you really got to be very self-aware. Oh, that's something. Self-awareness. I think that's a very huge tool. I love self-awareness. I feel like it's something that helps so much in the world is being able to look internally and like be self-aware of where you're at. Also not lying to yourself about your goal. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Like being completely blunt and honest with where you're at and accepting it and not letting it tear you down rather choose to learn from it. Like if you don't accomplish a goal, look back at it and figure out why and figure out what happened, you know, rather than being like, oh, I can't believe I didn't accomplish that, which I've done, you know.
Same.
Like
we talked about that earlier. In my opinion, you should only be hitting 80% of your goals.
Yeah, but like the ones you don't hit can be used to hit other goals in the future, so they still have a place.
True.
Like they still have something you're accomplishing.
Or they just don't resonate with you anymore.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. I love goals. Oh, what's one of the
lights up
right now?
What's one of my what?
What right now?
Right now, in this moment.
In this moment, a goal that you are very proud of for accomplishing.
Like in this moment, a goal that
right
I'm
now,
proud
just
of
think of a goal that you've accomplished that you're like, wow, I'm really proud of that. Yeah,
like my entire life.
In your entire life.
Well, the one that probably felt the most good is when I got my first computer when I was like 14.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did that feel so good?
Because I moved 64 tons of rocks with a wheelbarrow and a shovel.
I forget about this story.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's like I feel like as you get older, those things, like don't give you as much dopamine. I guess you know, like it's exciting, but you've like learned to accept like you get what you want because you're an adult. If I want something, I'm gonna go out work and get it. Like it's a lot easier. But I feel like when it first happens, like you don't really understand. It's just like your parents or whoever is above you is like, no, you can't have this, and like you don't know how to solve it, you know. And then I figured out how to solve it, and then I was like, holy shit. And then I got a computer and I could play World of Warcraft. So
yeah,
everything. I don't know. That's the first thing I think to think of. I mean, obviously there's a lot. Other people would say it's bigger, but I think that's the thing that's most memorable to me.
Which is cool. I feel like set the tone for why goals were so important to you.
Probably. Yeah. And World of Warcraft because I wanted that epic bow from Molten Core.
Oh,
all my nerds out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Gosh.
It's a big deal. Big deal. You had that bow, you were the shit.
all the WoW nerds.
Yeah. Stop playing WoW. Uninstall it. It's a waste of time.
I would have to agree with that.
That game's gonna be gone one day, and you're thousands of hours and something.
So many hours.
Level up your real life character.
Ooh, you are your character. That's cool.
Level it up.
Love that. Let's think.
About what?
Thinking about like more things I can ask about goals because I just love talking about them. Oh, I have an interesting one. So, I hit one of my biggest goals that I had in my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I got promoted to being a store manager for In-N-Out, and I want to know your opinion about this.
All right.
Because after I hit that goal, I didn't feel happy. Like, I was happy because obviously, like, it was cool, but it was, like, nothing in comparison to other goals I had hit before in my life. Like, it wasn't nearly as happy as, like, say, when I got a role for a lead, play. I felt, like, very accomplished and happy about it. So what do you think, like, from your perspective, why?
My perspective.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Why what? Why you weren't
Because I
that
have
happy
my
once you achieved
perspective.
it?
Yeah.
Well, I think and it could be a million things. All right, I'm just gonna say what I say. Then there's like that football player. I don't know what his name is, but he has a great speech. But he talks about like the what now effect. You know, same thing. Like a lot of people that do really really good in like high school in school. That's all they know, and they haven't really set anything past that goal. So once they hit it, it's like, oh shit, like there's no more purpose. There's not another stone to step on. You're kind of just at that last stone, so you don't really, have something. So like you're like, uh, what now? And
Yeah.
one of those football players talked about that. I don't remember his name, but he had a good speech.
Yeah. Wow, you hit it. You got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got it.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I feel like we have massive goals, and Tony Robbins says you can achieve. I'm gonna need to remember. Said you can achieve more than what you expect in a year, but you can achieve less than what you expect in 10 years. Basically, that's paraphrasing. That's not perfect, but basically he's saying like you can achieve a lot more than you realize. So for me, I set this goal to be a store manager like when I was say 20, and I got promoted when I was 24, I think. I can't remember. But I didn't expect to hit that goal so quickly, so that was like my end goal.
Yeah.
And I hit it so fast. And when I hit it, like for 2 months, I sat there and I was trying to figure out why the hell I was so unhappy. Like why I wasn't like I'm here, I made it. That's like how like I expected myself to feel, like I made it. Now, but there was like that what now effect of like I felt so I had nothing tangible after that goal to reach for. Like it just was like, okay, now what? I wake up every day and I do the same thing or whatever. Like it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun, and that's the thing about goals is they are fun. So I think when you're setting goals, even with your like most far-fetched goals, even think like beyond that, you know?
Yeah, I would agree. That's one thing that got me out of my funk. I was like in a funk for a couple years one time, and I think it's just because I didn't believe I could achieve some things, and I didn't have big enough goals. I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now my goals are like, if I tell people my goals, which I do sometimes, they think I'm crazy, and I'm like, it doesn't matter, dude. I'm gonna be here for another 100 years. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? If you want $1 billion, like, put it on the wall.
Yeah.
Get $1 billion.
I've been there when he's told people his goals, and they're like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
People have said he's crazy to me so many times. I'm like, yeah, it's great.
What you're supposed to do? What should be my goal? I just want to work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. Go into a 401k and then retire in a house and just live out my life.
It's so true. People are just like on this hamster wheel, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and they get so comfortable in it too. Like they're just like, yeah, this is my life. But then like, if you ask them, they're not really happy.
Sure.
They're not invigorated. They're not like those people that you're drawn to.
Yeah.
They're just
part of the
like,
system.
Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. Don't become one of those people.
Yeah.
Set some freaking goals.
Yeah. Great.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be a good year.
Happy 2024.
Happy 2024. I'm so happy we did this. We are achieving one of your goals. That was weird.
That's what?
I said that was weird. I never fist bump you. He always fist bumps me first.
Yeah. Hashtag.
Anywho.
You gotta do a call to action now. You gotta do a CTA.
I have no idea what that is.
Asking people to do things. Call to action.
Ooh, call to action.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
no,
go
that
ahead
makes
and,
sense.
go down to the comment section. Whether I don't know if there's comments on other podcasting things, but if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, go ahead and put in a comment what your goal is for this next week. I don't care about the whole year, just this next week.
Yeah.
What's your goal for next week?
Next week's goal, and doesn't matter when you're watching this. Even if you're watching this in 2025, go put a goal down there.
Yeah, I'll be watching it. I'll be like, oh, cringe.
We're gonna get better. Don't you fret.
Cringe. Fret?
Don't you fret.
Fret.
You never heard that phrase before?
No, I have.
Anywho.
Yeah.
And then we're also gonna put in the link some personality tests.
Are we?
I'm doing it.
Okay. You're doing it.
promised
She's
them.
doing it.
I promised them.
Promise who?
I don't know.
Who's
Whoever
them?
wants it.
Who's them?
The
wants it?
world.
All right, we can stop.
We didn't do a send off. Anywho.
Send off.
Have a
Thanks for
wonderful
watching
day.
and subscribing. Make sure you hit the bell in the corner somewhere, and then make sure you put your goal. Leave us a comment if you want us to talk about a topic, because we're pretty insightful beings.
We are pretty insightful.
Yeah, I'll tell you you're wrong, even if you're right.
You will.
Yep.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Hasta luego.